A long time ago, in the heart of a thick dark forest, there was a small village called Aja. The people of Aja were known for their kindness and strong bond with the spirits of the land. They farmed, hunted, and told stories by the fireside at night. The village was surrounded by tall trees. Those leaves sang softly when the wind passed, and the rivers sparkled like silver snake under the moonlight. Life was simple, and the people were happy. But not everything in Aja was perfect. There was a man named Dogo, who was known for his wicked heart. He was jealous, greedy, and always caused trouble. While others worked hard on their farms, Dogo spent his days plotting how to steal from them. Many villagers feared him, but none dared to confront him because it was said that he knew the dark ways of the spirits. In the same village, there lived a beautiful maiden named Amara. She had skin like smooth earth after the rain and the eyes that shine like the morning sun. Every young man in Aja wanted to marry her, but her heart belonged to Obinna, a humble hunter who loved her more than his own life. Obinna was brave, strong, and had never harmed a soul. But Dogo has always had his eyes on Amara. He has always wanted to marry her, even if he knows Amara loves someone else. He don't care. He was ready to do anything just to have her. Dogo has visited Amara many times with fruits and tubers of yam, which he stole from people's farm. But Amara has never accepted any, which makes his heart harbors jealousy, and he promised himself if he can't marry her, so no one will. One evening, as the sun disappeared behind the tall trees, the villagers gathered at the square for the annual yam festival. Drum beats, flute sang, and old women clapped their hands in joy. The air smelled of roasted yams and palm wine. Obinna took Amara's hand, and they danced together under the stars, their hearts beating as one. But in the shadows, Dogo watched them with envy burning in his heart. He wanted Amara for himself, but she has refused him many times. His anger grew like a wind fire. And that night, as others celebrated, Dogo left the village and walked deep into the forbidden part of the forest, where no one dared to go. The forest grew darker. The deeper Dogo walked, the trees stood like an ancient warriors, and strong sound filled the air. The host of horns, the hiss of snake, and the whisper of unseen spirits made even the bravest men tremble. But Dogo did not turn back. His heart was filled with hatred, and his mind was set on one thing: to seek the help of the dreaded forest witch, Mama Nwuko. Mama Nwuko was a name spoken in fear in Aja. She was a powerful witch who lived alone in a hut made of bones and old wood. It was said that she could command the spirits of the dead and control the winds with her words. No one who came across her was left unchanged. Some never returned at all. At midnight, Dogo reached her hut. A faint green light grew from within, and the air smelled of blood and herbs. He took a deep breath and stepped closer. Before he could knock, the door cracked open on its own. Inside, an old woman with a skin as wrinkled as dry leaves and eyes like burning coals sat, stirring a pot. "So you have come, Dogo." Mama Nwuko's voice was like the rustling of dead leaves. "I have felt your bitterness from afar. Speak quickly, for the night grows old." Dogo fell to his knees. "Mama Nwuko, great mother of the forest, I beg you, place a curse on Obinna. Let him suffer, let his love turn to sorrow, and let Amara be mine." Mama Nwuko cracked, a sound that made the shadows dance. "Foolish boy, do you know the price of such a request? A curse is not a game. It brings mystery to many, not just one." "I don't care," Dogo shouted, his eyes wide. "I will pay any price. Just grant me this wish." The old witch stepped into the pot and whispered words in a tongue forgotten by men. The flame in the hearth turned blue, and a cold blew through the cracks. Mama Nguko took a calabash and filled it with dark, thick liquid. "Take this," she said, handing it to Dogo. "At dawn, pour it on Obina's doorstep. The curse will find him. But remember, no curse touch one person. It works like a restless spirit, harming all its parts. Blood will call to blood." Doge grabbed the calabash, thanked her, and ran back to the village as the first light of morning touched the sky. By the time Doge reached the edge of Aja village, the villagers were still asleep, moving like a snake in the shadow. Dojo crossed to Obina's hut. His heart pounded in his chest as he carefully poured the dark liquid from the calabash on top of the doorstep. As soon as the last drop touched the earth, the ground shivered and a dust of cold wind wiped through the village. Though the sun was rising, the trees swapped, and the birds that usually sang at dawn fell silent. Doge smiled to himself and disappeared into the forest before anyone could see him. Obinna woke up that morning feeling strange. A heavy weight pressed on his chest, and the air around him felt sick. Amara came to visit him with a basket of fruit, but as soon as she stepped close to the hut, a crow screamed from a tree above, and the fruit fell from her hands. "Obinna," she whispered, fear in her eyes. "Something is wrong." Obinna tried to laugh it off, but deep down, he knew something was wrong, but he could not explain. That night, while the villagers slept, a thick floor rolled into Aja. It twisted between huts and trees, and its heart moved a shadow with glowing eyes. A woman carrying water swore she saw something moving past her, and the next morning she was found lying by a path, her eyes wide open, frozen in fear. The elders gathered in a square, alarmed. They consulted the oracles. A blind man named Baba Ifi. He sat by the sacred Iroko tree and listened as the drums were beating to summon the spirits. After hours of silence, Baba Ifi spoke. "A curse has entered our land," he said, his voice grave. "A darkness placed by greedy hands. Until the one responsible confess, our village will know no peace." Whisper filled the air. The people were afraid. Livestock began to die. Yams rotting in the ground. Children fell sick, and at night, strange cries echoed through the trees. Even evening, a crow perched on Obina's rooftop and called out 3 times before vanishing into the mist. Obina himself grew weak. His once bright eyes became dull, and he barely ate or spoke. Amara refused to leave his side. Though fear gripped her heart, she knew something evil was at work, but she could not understand why. One night, while she sat by his side, Obina coughed out blood. Amara screamed and called the healers, Mama Edo. The old woman examined Obina and shook her head. "This is no illness of the body," Mama Edo murmured. "This is the work of dark spirits. Someone has caused him." The news of Obina's strange sickness spread through the village like a wildfire. The people whispered among themselves, afraid to speak too louder, for fear that the spirit might hear them. The elders gathered once more beneath the sacred Iroko tree, their face lined with worries. Elder Nwandi, the oldest man in the village, spoke. "We must find the one who brought this evil upon us. Until then, our land will suffer. No child will be born, no harvest will grow, and our rivers will dry." But no one confessed. Fear hung over the people like a dark cloud. Every day, a new misfortune struck. A hunter was found dead in the forest, his face twisted in horror. The rivers turned muddy, and the fish float lifeless on the surface. The villagers began to leave offering at the shrine, begging the gods for mercy. Amara refused to give up. She went back to Baba Ifi, the blind oracle, and knelt before him. "Please, great one," she pleaded, her voice shaking. "Tell me how to save Obinna. I will do anything." Baba Ifi placed his hand on her head and spoke softly. "The curse was born of envy and evil. To break it, you must find the source. The hand that poured the darkness must confess, or the land shall bleed forever." Amara thanked him and left with a heavy heart. That night, while the winds blew and the crow called 3 times from Obinna's rooftop, Amara had a dream. In it, she saw a dark finger pouring something on Obinna's doorstep. She could not see the face, but the figure leaped slightly on the left foot. The next morning, Amara remembered that Dogo had always walked with a slightly limp after a hunting incident years ago. Her heart raced. Could it be him? Amara decided to confront him. She went to his hut, but Dogo was nowhere to be found. The door was open, and inside, strange symbols were drawn on the floor with ash. A small calabash stained with dry dark liquid lay in the corner. Amara picked it up, and the room grew cold. A voice whispered in her ear, though no one else was there. The guilty hid in the shadow. Frightened but determined, Amara called for the elders. They came, running, and when they saw the marks on the calabash, their face darkened. Doje Edanwandi sparked the name like a curse. "The boy has doomed us." The villagers formed a search party and entered the forest, calling Doje's name. They searched through the thick trees, past the river, and into the forbidden paths where no one dared to go. As night fell, they found him near Mama Nwuko's hut, lying on the ground, his face paled and his eyes wide with terror. He was murmuring to himself, "I did not mean it. I just wanted her. I did not know it would be this bad." The men dragged him back to the village square. The entire village gathered. Even the sick and the weak came out, their faces like a ghost in a flickering firelight. The crone watched from the sky. In the center of the square, Doje knelt, his hand tied with thick rope. The elders formed a circle around him, while the villagers watched in silence. Even the night seemed to hold its breath. The flameless of the torch flickered as the cold wind swept through. Edanwande stepped forward, his voice heavy with anger. "Dojo, son of the soil, you have brought this upon us. Speak now before the gods strike you where you kneel." Tears streamed down Dojo's face. His lips trembled, and his voice cracked as he confessed. I went to Mama Nwuko's, and I asked her to curse Obinna. I was blinded by jealousy. I wanted Amara for myself." A loud gush swept through the crowd. Men shook their heads in shame. Even Amara, though her heart burned with flame, felt pity for the panicked figure before her. Edanwandi raised his staff. "You have confessed your crime, but your foolishness has cost not only Obinna, but our land, our people, and our children's children. The spirits are angry. The curse will not be lifted with words alone." Baba Ifi, the blind oracle, spoke once more. "There is but one way to cleanse the land. The blood that called the dark spirits must be given to the earth. Only then will the spirits rest." A gush fell over the square. The meaning was clear. Doje's life was the price for the peace of the village. Doje began to wail, "Please, spare me, forgive me, I was foolish." But the people had suffered too long. The sick lay dying. The land was barren and the livers were dead. Mercy was a luxury they could no longer afford. At dawn, under the sacred Iroko tree, Dojo was taken to the place of sacrifice. The sky turned grey and the wind whispered through the leaves. Baba Ifi performed the ancient rites, and the earth was filled with the blood of the guilty. At the final words of the chant left the oracle's lips, a strange stillness covered the land. The crow cried once, then flew away, disappearing into the sky. The mist lifted, the river water cleared, and the air felt lighter. Obinna, who had lay weak and close to death, awake that morning, his strength slowly returning, his fever broken, the color returned to his face. Amara wept with joy as she held his hand. The villagers gathered at the square. The elders declared a time of cleansing. Offerings were made to the gods, and the land was blessed. Mama Wuko's hut was burnt to ground, and her name was never spoken again. Life returned to Aja village. Through the scale remained in every heart. The people learned the danger of envy and the terrible power of a curse. The harvest returned. Children laughed again, and the rivers sang under the moonlight. Obinna and Amara married beneath the same iroko tree, and the entire village celebrated. Songs were sung of courage, love, and the terrible lessons of Dojo's envy. And so, the legend of the curse of Aja village was passed from generation to generation. The iroko tree still stands, the rivers still sing, and sometimes on a quiet night, a crow distant call reminds the people, though evil sleep, but it never truly die. Obinna and Amara live long and happy lives. They were blessed with 3 strong sons and a beautiful daughter named Adaeze. Adaeze had her own mother beauty and her father's brave heart. She loved to wander by the river banks and listen to the old stories whispered by the winds. Many years passed. The story of Dojo's curse became a tale told to children by fireside. The elders would gather the little ones beneath the iloko tree and remind them of the danger of envy and dark magic. Aja village grew prosperous again.